Hello BookTube, welcome back to AusLit 101, and after giving you a full week, 55 non-fiction book recommendations about Australia, it's time we move on to fiction. I know, we're only halfway through this, so this entire week we're sticking to fiction pretty much, with maybe an occasional side recommendation of like a non-fiction about an author or whatever, but we're sticking to fiction. So we're going to be talking today about children's books. We're going to be talking about picture books. We're going to start there because no one really talks about this, and there's some lovely Australian children's books. It's so iconic, and so I do have a big list here. So let's start with this is going to show my age pretty much, but the first one I'm going to be talking about is the iconic Possum Magic by Mem Fox, illustrated by Julie Byers, of course. And this is about a grandma possum, and she has two possums with her grandchildren, I think. And one of them's called Hush, and the grandmother makes Hush invisible, and they do a lot of fun things together, like they hide away from snakes. And one day Hush decides she wants to turn visible, but it turns out human food is the only way she can become visible again. And so she has to start eating Vegemite sandwiches, and slowly over time she starts to become visible again. It's a very iconic and lovely story. This we are starting to see. I don't have any of these books. I've read Possum Magic growing up, but I literally don't have a copy of it now. I only have one physical copy of one of the books we'll be talking about today, which is the next one, Wombat Stew by Marcia, Vaughan, and Pamela Lofts. I have it right here. This is the 40th anniversary edition, and pretty much Wombat Stew is about a dingo, and he wants to make a stew called a Wombat Stew, and it's like a catchy song, and the stew is like gooey and nasty, and all the other Australian bush animals like platypuses, emus, blue-tongued lizards, koalas, and like an echidna too. They provide ingredients for the dingo to add to the stew, but however, the animals change up the ingredients and they trick the dingo, so they're actually giving him feathers, flies, mud, all these other insects, rather than giving him the actual wombat. And it's just a very lovely story. The illustrations here are so iconic. I'll show you one of them. I'm just gonna flip to a random one, but look at this. You got the dingo right there, then you got the platypus, and so yeah, check out Wombat Stew if you haven't. It's been around for over 40 years now. It's a very lovely book with beautiful illustrations. Next, we're moving on to Jackie French. She's one of the biggest children authors we have still, and I'm going to be talking about her book, her picture book, Diary of a Wombat. And this is like a lovely week-long diary of a wombat, pretty much as he digs holes and likes to eat and just sleep pretty much. And as the week progresses pretty much, he starts getting more desires, and the story gets like kind of funnier and funnier. And just his expressions and all the stuff he gets throughout today is just very exciting. I don't want to spoil it because it's just so lovely. And she made a whole series of the Diary of, and they're all very lovely as well. But again, I don't own them, so I need to make up for that at some point. And so those like some of the big three. I am going to go back now, and we're going to talk about three older ones that have been around for 100 years-ish or more. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is Blinky Bill. Blinky Bill is like a mischievous koala. He's really funny, and him and his animal friends pretty much just cause destruction and chaos and grief for any human that comes near their way. Very funny. You'll probably know what Blinky Bill looks like. He's been in ads for God knows how long. So pick him up if you see him at like an op shop or something, because you will have a bit of fun. So then we're moving on to Dot the Kangaroo. This was first published in 1899 and by Ethel C. Pedley, and it's about a 15-year-old girl named Dot, and she gets lost in the bush, and then she meets like a kangaroo that's also like a mum, and she's looking for her Joey. And the kangaroo gives Dot like a bunch of magical berries, and then which gives Dot the ability to speak to animals, and then they go on like a really beautiful journey through the Australian bush, and it's whimsical, it's very magical, and it's so lovely. And then the last recommendation I'm going to be giving you today is The Magic Pudding by Norman Lindsay. This is 1918, and we follow a piece of replenishing magic pudding named Albert. He's very grumpy. I don't think he likes anyone, literally, and pretty much he has three people protecting him, and he has a koala, a sailor, and a pelican, and they're trying to defend him from being stolen by thieves because he's ever replenishing pudding, changes all the time, and it's just very lovely. The rhymes are so smart, and it's a classic even of its own right. So again, if you find it secondhand, like I probably will because I don't own a copy of it, go and check it out because it is a classic and it's just very lovely. But yeah, so that's like a handful of Australian classic picture books or whatever I want to recommend to you. There is so many more that I didn't get to. So if you have any more recommendations, put them in the comments and I will be snooping around and having a look at them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching BookTube, and I will see you next time.